This is episode number 290 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We're so glad you could join us for another live episode. We're back in the studio. How you doing, Kev?
Oh, man, I am doing fantastic. A little tired.
Yeah.
Actually,
Climbing mountains?
why are we lying? I'm really tired. Yes. Climbed a 14,000-foot mountain last week, and that was
Do you know which one?
tough. I do.
Which one was it?
Mount Antero.
Mount
I
Antero.
believe it was like, I'm going to get it wrong, like 14,268 feet or something like that.
When did you summit it?
We summited on Wednesday.
Okay.
And let me tell you, like, I would not consider myself a novice backpacker.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I mean, I'm not an expert either. But
You're not hitting it every weekend.
No, but I think I added it up. This is like my 12th backpacking trip.
Okay.
So it's a decent number.
Sure.
I've done a lot of hiking, but just
More
like,
than most.
More than most. And this one was definitely the most difficult to summit. And there was a very specific reason for that. So on summit day, we woke up at 2:45 in the morning. We left at 3:15. So most summit days that I've done in the past, it's just a day pack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, strap up a day pack, head up to the summit, come down. It's still a tough day.
Right.
Still a tough day.
Right.
But because of the way we had this mapped out, we were not going up to the summit and then coming back down the same direction. We were doing a through hike.
Oh.
So what that meant is we had to take our packs, you know, the entirety of our
We're coming back
packs.
to camp is what you're saying.
Yeah. But we weren't coming back to camp. We were finding a new camp. And so we took our packs with us all the way up to the saddle. And if you don't know what the saddle is kind of like where the two mountain ranges kind of come together.
Yeah.
And from the saddle to the peaks, about another 1,000 feet. Well, we hiked about 3.5 to 4 miles and about 1,500 feet of elevation before we ever took our packs off. And then we basically grabbed a rain jacket and a water bottle and went up the next 1,000 foot without our packs. And man, I was already exhausted.
But that feel lighter though.
Yeah, well, I was a lot lighter, but I mean, at that point, we'd already climbed 1,500 feet of elevation, been hiking for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours at that point, and my legs were tired. Like, I was just, was tired. Yeah. And, it was really cool. I'll have to show you a picture. We had to go across a ridge, like basically an A-frame ridge, the top of it, to get to the boulder field that actually took us up to the peak. So it's very, very, very challenging in a lot of ways mentally, if nothing else. But then we come back down and we're above tree line and some clouds are kind of starting to form. We're like, okay, we got to get down before we can even have lunch. It was almost 2:00 before we had lunch. And that was about a mile to get to tree line. And then we had another 1.5 miles before we found our campsite. We hiked 13 hours that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, from the moment we woke up and took off to the moment we found our second camp. It's 13 hours. Jeez. And most of that was with our packs on. And it was really, really tough. But man, it was awesome. The weather honestly couldn't have been better. We had a really, really good trip. There was very little complaining from the crowd.
That always helps things.
Really, like I would even say no complaining. It was very unique as far as that goes, but great trip. Colorado's, one of those places where like people, if you're going to backpack, it is a destination location. People from all over the world come to backpack in the Rocky Mountains, and that area specifically, which is the Collegiate Peaks area, the Buena Vista, Colorado area. Just absolutely gorgeous. We had a great time. Then we went, we did a half-day Whitewater Rapid trip.
Oh, nice.
And really, really great as far as that goes. So, but I'm tired.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm tired. My whole body's kind of like, could you just stop for a little bit? Could you just stop?
Just slow down.
You're not 30 years old anymore, Kevin. And I feel it.
You were when you started.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I kind of feel like from this going forward, every year is going to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
This one was the hardest.
This one was the hardest. Yeah, no. It's funny because the other two adults, one of them is about a year younger than me, and the other one's, I don't know, like 7 years older than me.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about, okay, next time we're going to have to do some training. And it can't just be like lose a little weight.
Right.
It's going to have to be like some endurance training.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get harder for sure.
Well, so my wife and son have a plan to rim the Grand Canyon.
Oh, really?
I think when he's 16.
Okay.
So that'll be, how old is he? So that'll be in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So she's looking at, like, she promised him.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't promise him. I'm not doing
No, that sounds terrible. No, it sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
But it sounds extremely difficult.
Oh, apparently it can be done in a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess depending on which side of the rim from rim to rim
You start at the top and you go down.
Well, I
downhill.
know, but there's like
it's the uphill part.
There's multiple areas where it's a lot wider than others.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, and wide can be good. I mean, because
Yeah.
you kind of want to spend some time down on the flat
sure.
when you get down to the bottom. But
Yeah.
like it's the edges.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And I'm
lots
like,
of switchbacks.
I'll take a mule and meet you over there.
Well, and that's actually what's interesting. We were about midway through our first day, and one of our guides was like, we actually have some trips where you can rent alpacas, and they'll basically carry all your gear. And I'm like, excuse me? You tell me that now?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
How much is your pack weigh?
My pack was actually pretty light in comparative to other years, but I think I was around 45 pounds this time. And I've really invested in some lightweight gear over the years.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if it's not liquid, that's not too bad.
Well, no, I mean, I typically carry 3 to 4 liters of water because I've got a 3-liter Camelback, and I typically have that full, and then I've got another Nalgene full of water. But everybody carries the crew gear. You've got tents, you've got pots and pans, you've got stoves, you've got food. And honestly, the outfitter that we use, I'll give a shout out to Noah's Ark. They're incredible. One of the things that is very different about them is that you eat well. We eat really well. I mean, you're not opening bags of tuna.
Right.
You're not eating granola bars. You're eating really, really good food, but you have to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not lightweight. And that's just part of it. I mean, by the end of the trip, I mean, your pack is significantly lighter, but those first few days, you're carrying a lot of weight. So, and some people might go, okay, well, I've carried a 60-pound pack. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I have 2, and I hated it. Like, that's not my goal. My goal isn't to be like, oh, look how much weight I can possibly carry up a mountain. Like, I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. I care about having fun. Honestly, it's way more important than how much weight I can carry at this point in my life. And, I will say this. It was what, 5 years or either 5 or 6 years ago, I can't remember, when I tore my ACL. This is the first big trek that I've taken. I really had no idea like how my knee would respond to that. Like, is it going to swell up? Is it going to hurt? Is it going to, dude? 0 issues. Not even one. Like, I didn't even notice it. Especially, I was more worried about coming down.
Oh yeah,
the mountain. With the pounding that your knees
take. When you get hurt more. When
you're
going down.
Absolutely. People think it's easier. It's actually not.
Yeah.
It takes less breath.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But
less energy, but more prone to injury.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, really, really good trip, and glad to have it behind me. And
yeah,
here we go.
Nice.
So
We got a cool episode for you guys tonight. We're going to be reviewing a sauna, and we'll get into some other stuff as well. But before we do that, thank you to our show sponsors. The first one being Lone Star Appliance Repair. Guys, getting your appliances repaired is way more affordable than going out and buying this new stuff. And, like, honestly, the new stuff, half of it's crap.
Oh, you're not lying.
If you got something good, just get it repaired.
Yeah.
Because who wants to who wants to deal with an appliance salesman?
I don't.
No one.
No. I mean, and not only that, like, you got to learn it. You got to learn a new system. You got to learn a new way of doing things. They say they're more efficient. I actually bought a new washing machine one time going, oh, this is the newest, greatest thing. And, like, my clothes would come out of the washer dry. Like, it wouldn't fill.
Right.
And I'm like, this is not great. And so I took it back to the store. Mm-hmm. Got a different model of the same, different one of the same model.
Right.
Brought it home, same issue.
Same issue.
My stuff just was like coming out wet, not wet at all. I'm like, well, obviously it's not even clean. So I don't know.
What are you doing in there?
Yeah. It's like whenever you've got a machine that you actually like, why would you go get something else? It's going to cost you more money to buy something new. You already like what you've got.
And typically the repairs are something like mechanical that's repairable. I mean, sometimes there's like a CPU board, but even those like are replaceable.
Absolutely.
Unless for some reason it's like a really old washing machine. And if it's really old, it probably doesn't have a circuit board.
Right. Right.
It's probably more reliable anyway. Get that one fixed.
That's right.
Anyway, whatever your appliance, washing machine, dishwasher, refrigerator, even sinks.
Right.
Give them a call.
I don't know about that.
They'll work on them.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't believe that they're an appliance.
The lady answering the phone doesn't, but she's not correct.
No, she is.
She's not a dictionary.
It's okay. But their phone number, if you want to talk to her anyway, is 936-647-2364. Give them a call, send them a text. You can set something up over text, which I think is really cool.
Oh, yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
And their texts are awesome.
That's it.
Yep. The other sponsor for the show is True Texas Solar. Guys, this is a full-service roof company now. I mean, like if you need a new roof, I even think they're looking at doing some gutters and different things like that because they understand that putting something that expensive, solar panels and power efficiency systems up on the roof, that affects the roof.
That's right.
And so they've positioned themselves to be able to help you with the roof as well.
Yeah, and not only that, like, and this is not a blanket statement, but I know that there are scenarios when you can lump sum your roof into the entire bill.
Yes.
So that you're paying one monthly payment, but you got a new roof included in that. So that you know that because that's the challenge, right? You decide to get solar and you put it on a 15-year-old roof. Well, all of those solar panels have to come off before you can replace the roof, and then they got to put back on, and that's an additional expense. So if you do it just kind of up front, now they can help you with all of that.
Right. Well, not only that, guys, like if you're looking to replace your roof anyway, check your homeowner's insurance because that's probably going away sometime soon. It's a whole other issue we can get into later.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're looking for alternative energy solutions for your home, they can help you out with that, whether it be solar, whether it be a generator, whether it be a whole home battery. They have those solutions, and they can even get those solutions to work cohesively together for your power needs on your home. They're not going to try and oversell you or upsell you on something that you don't need, but they want to get you into the system that's going to give you control over the power in your home. So give them a call. Kev, what's the number?
936-286-8325.
And let them know that you heard about it from us.
That's it.
So we got some fun stuff coming up. We always have the live events that we're doing. Things like that. We're going to do a very specific political episode coming up soon. We're going to have some special guests for that.
That ought to be super interesting.
Yes, it should.
We have a target. We're not just trying to be political on this show. However, the truth is that a lot of what we talk about on this show has political implications.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that those of you that listen to our show have as informed of an understanding of what your home looks like in light of who's in office.
Right. And what I talked about, and I know you weren't here for this, but like the number one issue for millennials in 2024 is affordability and housing.
Right.
And that's the number one issue for that demographic, which is the young people. That's what every politician ever talks about every voting cycle is how do we get the young people out to vote? How do we get the young people out to vote? Well, they're telling all the politicians right now, our number one issue is home affordability, which from their perspective is not affordable.
Right.
And they're not wrong.
No.
For like what they're making in wages coming out of college, what they're making in wages in, first-time jobs. They can't afford to buy a home.
Not only can they not afford the price of the home, which is so much more than it was even 10 years ago.
So much more than it was 4 years ago.
Right. You can't afford the interest rate for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's so many things. And we'll get into it.
We're going to get into all of that, and it should be fun. But like, we don't really even know who's going to be the Democratic candidate at this point.
Oh my god!
I mean, like all the news organizations all of a sudden realize that Joe Biden is slightly incoherent and senile.
All of the sudden.
All of a sudden.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know.
How long have we known that?
So that's the thing is like, it was so frustrating for me after the debates. It's like, oh my gosh, what happened to him? And it's like.
Right.
We've all, like, that was normal to me.
Right.
Like,
has anybody ever been on TikTok?
It's
like have they
there
seen...
are so many, like, clips on YouTube of just, like, the gaffes.
Reels and reels and reels.
Oh, my gosh. And as I get that, like, you can cherry pick stuff, but, like, it's not like nobody didn't know.
Right.
We all knew.
Yep.
And so, like, everyone in the news was like, oh, my gosh. Like, everyone now sees. And, like, now we have to make... And I'm like, shut up.
Right.
Like, you guys are all morons.
Right.
If you don't gaslight me into thinking that you just now realized that Joe Biden's old.
Right. And if you think that the criticism stops with Biden,
it does not.
It does not.
There's other problems on the other side of the aisle.
Yes, there are.
But we're going to look at all three candidates, even though everyone else didn't give him a fair shake to old RFK. We'll give him a fair shake, see if he has anything to say about improving the status of homeownership in the United States. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Maybe.
We're going to get into it. But tonight we're here to review my latest purchase, which is the Dynamic Barcelona 2-person hemlock wood sauna. A sauna. I've wanted one of these for so long. I love me a good sauna.
Okay.
I used to only join gyms if they had a steam room and a sauna.
Okay.
I could care less about anything else. If they had that, I could work out there.
I remember whenever we went to Oklahoma on a little fishing expedition.
That's right.
The Airbnb you just so happened to book for us had a sauna in the master bathroom.
Which I happen to claim.
Primary bathroom.
Which I happen to claim.
Yes, you did. You happen to claim it.
That was a nice sauna. Like, it was a good sized sauna.
Yeah.
The functionality of that sauna sucked.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to like diss on the house or anything, but like it just didn't work.
Sure.
It wasn't great.
Right.
It was big though.
Yeah. Had it worked, it would have been amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I could do push-ups in that thing.
That's funny.
But anyway, so backstory to me even getting this, because I mean, this is not like a little
backstory.
Purchase. Yeah. Thank you.
Pun intended.
I got bucked off a horse in a bad way.
Yeah. Well, is there really a good way to get bucked off a horse?
There is.
Okay. Well,
there absolutely is.
This wasn't it.
This was not it. This was not the way. No, I mean, like, and to be fair, like I tell people about this sometimes. They're like, "Oh my gosh, did you get rid of the horse?" I'm like, "No, it wasn't the horse's fault."
Right.
So the latigo snapped on the saddle.
Right.
Which is this leather strap that holds the girth on underneath the saddle.
Right.
And that's all I had put on this horse because that's really all I needed.
Right.
It snapped, freaked the horse out.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And when it snapped, he bucked. And when a horse bucks, I know how to sit in the saddle. I know how to ride a bucking horse. Mm-hmm. Well, when you put all of your center of gravity into an object that has now been sent flying through the air because it has nothing holding it to the horse's body.
Right.
You do a couple of flips and land awkwardly.
Ouch.
So I had like a giant, did I ever show you?
Oh, you did.
No, I had a giant black bruise going like from my shoulder all the way down to my knee.
Yeah, it was bad.
And
when you say black, it was black. Black, yeah. It wasn't purple. It was bad. It was deep bruising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that hurt. I got up fine. I walked away from it. I actually went back and put another saddle on the horse and rode him for like another hour. And anyway, I was like, I did that knowing like, okay, no matter what, it's going to hurt tomorrow.
Sure.
Like I might as well just like try and enjoy this. Like, and it actually felt good to get in the saddle.
Mm-hmm.
2 months later, my back was still killing me.
Yeah.
Like I'd been going to the chiropractor, I'd been getting adjustments, I'd been, doing the stretches and all this kind of stuff, and like nothing was working. And I knew that part of it was just I needed time to heal, but I ended up going to like get an MRI because they were like, maybe you need back surgery. I mean, like maybe you really messed something up. And I went and got the MRI, and the doctor looked at it and was like, no, like you don't need surgery. You don't have like a bulged disc or anything like that. I mean, like you just really need to like exercise, which I didn't want to do because it hurt.
Right.
But you can do some other things. And I was like, okay, so what are some of the other things? And he was like, well, you can do these stretches. You can, we can do some other adjustments at the chiropractor, but it might be really helpful to get a sauna. Mm. And now I had been jockeying for a sauna for a long time at home.
Okay.
With my wife.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those moments when I came back from the doctor and she's like, so what'd the doctor say? And I was like, well, he said this and he said this and he said I should get a sauna. And she's like, he said what? I was like, he said I should get a sauna. And she's like, well, why don't you just join a gym and that has a sauna?
Right.
And I was like, let's just both be honest right now.
Right.
I'm not going to the gym.
No.
I'm not going to go.
Right.
Like we can throw that money down the toilet.
Sure.
I ain't going.
Right.
I hate going to the gym.
Right.
I enjoy working out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah.
And she was like, how much is it? And I was like, let me look around. So I did a bunch of research, and you can get an okay one.
Right.
Like they have the ones that you can sit in that are like a tent.
Okay. Yeah.
And but those are typically like steam saunas,
right?
Which aren't bad. I mean, you're still like sweating, you're still getting heat applied to your body,
right?
But they're cheap. They're like $200. Mm-hmm. When I say cheap, I mean like
inexpensive. In comparison
to everything else, they're pretty cheap,
right?
But they're also cheap looking,
right? And in general, the effects aren't going to be
as
the same.
Great.
Yeah.
And so the one I ended up going with was an infrared, which is more of like a deep tissue heat that you can get like to get into your body,
right?
So anyway, I did a bunch of research, and I will tell guys, I'll tell everyone, here's some of the things you need to look out for, because when you start getting into the more expensive saunas, what you want to look for is height. Height is the issue that you will pay more money for.
Okay.
Because you will see a sauna that looks really good, like the ones that are around $1,000, but they are ones that you have to literally bend over to get inside.
Ugh.
And there's
that sounds terrible.
They're terrible.
I mean, they're not that large anyway.
Th're not.
Now you're going to be in a claustrophobic tube, basically.
Well, also if you're someone like me that was having severe back pains, and it hurt me to bend over.
Yeah.
Like
that doesn't sound right.
And like typically, like I'll look at something and go, well, that looks like this and that looks like this, but this one's like $500 less. So then I started asking my questions like, why is it so much? Because it's a lot less material.
Okay.
It's a lot less material that they're having to build it with. It's a lot less material they're having to ship.
Sure.
And so the one I have now is 75 inches.
Okay.
74, 75 inches tall.
Okay. Which
I still have to like kind of
people
crane my neck over to get into. If you're 6 feet or over like me,
yeah,
you're not going to be able to like just walk straight into this thing,
right?
But you're not having to bend over.
Sure.
So anyway, all the things that this one says about it. Okay, so one, it says that it's a 1 to 2 person sauna. It's not a hammock.
Not a hammock.
It's hemlock. It's made out of hemlock. It says 1 to 2 person. It's 1 person.
Yeah.
Like maybe 2 kids could be in it together.
So you're saying you and I couldn't fit?
No.
Okay. Shoot.
Not without like our leg hairs touching. And that's a no-go right from the start. It's infrared, low EMF, chromotherapy, glass door, and then it has external and internal touch panel controls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's basically just a mirror image inside and out.
Sure. But you can you don't have to be in it to turn it on.
No.
You can turn it on from outside, do
Correct.
what you need to do, let it do its thing. then get in if you need to adjust from the inside, rather than having to then come back outside. Like having both is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, I mean, like a lot of times if you're inside of it and you want to adjust it, you don't want to like open that door and let all the heat out.
Yeah. And you've lost everything.
Right. Which I'll come in and out of it quite a bit anyway. Just cause I tend to do longer sessions in it.
Okay. You need a breather.
Yeah. I'll come out and get like a bottle of water, bring it back in with me.
Yeah.
So anyway, it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infrared panels on it. It has a Bluetooth stereo system inside. So it has all the nice bells and whistles. My biggest concern when I got it was putting the thing together. And when they say that it takes 2 people to put it together, they're not kidding.
Okay.
It's not difficult to put together.
Right.
But if you did it by yourself, you could screw it up really quick.
Okay.
Because things have to be aligned and held in place in order for the other pieces to come in. But, I mean, it says that you need a drill. I don't really think that you do.
Oh.
Because it has these metal latches. The screws are really for, like, putting in finishing pieces.
Okay.
The main structure of the thing is actually held together with metal buckles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's just because it's like I don't know, it's almost like a Lego set that just kind of connects together.
I actually see that on the images now.
So it makes it super easy to put it together. The toughest part is the top, getting all of the wires plugged in and connected where they needed to go. That was honestly the most complicated thing. I put the whole thing together in less than 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't take me long at all.
Yeah.
It took me longer to unpack it from the box than it did to actually put it together. I mean, just because it's heavy and like it's big, awkward pieces. So at the end of the day, the thing works great.
Sure.
And if you read reviews online, and I'll get into some of the reviews here in a minute, just because those are always fun to read.
I mean, they're pretty good reviews. I mean,
yeah, it has good reviews. I'm looking,
it's 405 ratings, and there's 4.7 reviews, 4.7.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I was gonna see if there's like, yeah, we got some 1-star and 2 stars in here. It'll be fine.
Yeah. There you
go. But anyway, they say it takes about 10, 15 minutes to heat the thing up.
Okay.
I keep mine outside. And
so it doesn't take that long.
This time of year, it just doesn't take that long.
The winter, it might.
Yeah, it's covered,
right?
Because it's technically an indoor sauna.
Sure.
But like it's covered, it's protected from the weather, but it's just outside.
Right.
So it just doesn't take me that long. It takes mine like 5 minutes really to kind of get heated up to where I'm actually like feeling a significant temperature change. The Bluetooth works fantastic.
Okay, great.
The sound in it actually is really good.
That way you can listen to our podcast while
absolutely
saunaing,
which is that's the best way to really do it. While you're drenched in sweat.
Yes,
is just listen to the
soothing sounds of Kevin and Craig coming through the speakers.
The somber tones.
That's right.
Of homeownership. So functionality, great. If you want to get a good sweat on, it's your thing.
Yeah.
The only issue I've had with it is the chromotherapy.
Okay.
So it's supposed to have 5 different colored lights that you can change it to. I think that's the number of lights.
Right.
Are you looking at it?
I'm seeing 9.
9?
But
okay, that's fine. Mine has 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it red?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's from what I know about this type of therapy, it's the most important one.
That's what I understand.
But
I can't change it.
That's weird.
And it has instructions on how to do it. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
I haven't called the company about it because honestly, it's just not that big a deal to me.
Yeah. Do you really want the other colors?
I really don't care.
Right.
I mean, it's just not important to me. Yeah. And I'm like you. I've read about it, and red seems to be the one that seems to make the biggest difference.
Yeah.
But if you want to level a complaint or like a downside to this thing, that would be it. It's like the color change just doesn't work on the control panel. The red light comes on just fine.
Okay.
Everything else works perfectly. The only other thing I would say that I don't enjoy as much about it is I have to wear flip-flops or sandals of some sort when I'm in it.
Oh. Why?
Because there's a infrared panel on the floor.
Oh.
And if I don't, it gets too hot for my feet.
Okay.
And I like being barefoot in the sauna.
Sure.
And when I wear my flip-flops, they get all sweaty and slippery. And
That's not fun walking away.
It's not. I'd rather like have dry sandals that I put on
Sure.
when I'm sweaty to walk away back into my house.
Sure.
But I have to wear something in there because otherwise it's super uncomfortable for my feet.
Okay.
The other thing I would say is about 2 weeks after having it and test driving it, my wife got me a sauna backrest.
Oh.
Which has been really helpful.
Okay.
Because otherwise you can't like lean against those infrared panels.
It's too hot.
It's a little too hot.
Yeah.
And you can't really like, you're just kind of sitting there.
Right.
Without anything to lean on. She got me one of those. That was a big game changer. I could sit there comfortably a lot longer.
Okay. And how long are you typically hanging out in there?
I will usually do between 20 and 30 minutes.
Okay. That's a pretty good time.
Yeah. Now, like I said, about minute 10, minute 20, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes, I'll get out and get myself a bottle of water.
Okay.
You know, I'm not out long.
Right.
But I'll get out, kind of take a couple of deep breaths, get me some water. But that actually I found kind of helps get my sweat going a little bit more when I kind of introduce cool water, the cool air.
Sure.
Get a bottle of water and then start hydrating. As I hydrate, I tend to sweat more.
Yeah, of course.
So that's been helpful. So like, and it's also helpful having that Bluetooth in there, because I can watch a show on my phone,
right?
Listen to a book, and that really helps the time go by a lot faster.
Yeah, sure.
And not just kind of sit there in silence and sweat.
Right. That would get exhausting.
Which I mean, like honestly, I do enjoy.
Yeah,
I do enjoy that, but like not for like that long of a time.
Sure.
Without something to engage my brain.
That makes sense.
But anyway, so it's super cool product. It's not a cheap one. I mean, this one's $1,900.
Yeah.
But I think for the price, it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for, if you're needing that type of therapy, you're needing that type of, maybe you just like it. I don't know. There's lots of reasons to have this sort of thing. I mean, it's something to invest in for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was just doing a little bit of reading, like chromotherapy and like why it's a big deal that they included in this. It's a homeopathic kind of medicine.
Yeah.
But like they say some of the benefits of it is it reduces inflammation, can help relieve pain, can help reduce swelling, accelerate open wound healing, reduce recovery time after surgery. So there's all these different kinds of things. And it says some of the side effects of it are decrease in stress and anxiety. So like maybe if you need stress and anxiety in your life, don't do chromotherapy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it says different colors have different kind of calming effects.
Okay.
Apparently like blue and green are better at reducing stress and anxiety than some of the other colors.
Okay. That makes sense.
So anyway, the chromotherapy stuff can be really, really helpful. And a great addition to a sauna.
Right.
So there's even like charts that you can pull up about what the different colors do.
Okay.
But I don't know. Any questions about it, man? I mean, like,
no, I think you kind of covered it all. The big deal for me was like, how well it maintains the heat. But then also just, if you're doing it for 30 minutes, it's doing pretty well. And then also, just the colors, which you've addressed. So,
yeah. All right, so here's a 1-star review on Amazon. These are always fun.
Yeah.
For this particular sauna, this is by Miss Chelsea Snell.
Okay.
You sound pleasant.
Yes.
Here's what she says. She said, "There is so much better bang for your buck. Do not buy the sauna. I've only seen the sauna get to 145 degrees, and I checked the temp with my own temperature gauge, and when the temp says it's 145 degrees, the bottom of the sauna is only 100 degrees. I tried returning this sauna right away after I installed it, and even though the advertisement on Amazon said 30-day money-back guarantee, Amazon stated this is sold by the third party, so you have to go by their return policy. Dynamic wanted to charge me over $1,000 to ship back. So that's where you pay a lot of your money.
Right.
I asked Dynamic, maybe there is something wrong with my sauna because it's not fully heating up, and they said because it's turning on, that means it's working. It should be, and this is just a beginner-level sauna, and if I wanted more heat, I should have bought the bigger one. No help, no suggestions, terrible customer service. I would send this sauna back in a heartbeat if I could for full price and buy a different brand. I am stuck with it for now. Also, the big glass door does not hold the heat in, so when you lean forward, you can tell it gets colder near the door. Very disappointed. That has not been my experience. Now the top end of it is, they say the top end of it is 150 degrees. I don't really know why you'd want to go much hotter than that anyway.
Yeah, that seems. Sorry, we had a bug flying around. That seems excessive.
I mean, I know people sit in hotter temperatures than that. Anyway,
Interesting.
Yeah, so to me, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, like you can get plenty hot at 130 degrees.
Yeah,
and you sitting there a long time, you're gonna sweat. You're gonna get the kind of therapy that you need from that thing.
Sure.
But like, it's also, I read the description of the product. It's very clear on there that while the top end of it says 150, it says it's very odd for it to get above 145.
Well, there you go then.
And like,
read what you're buying.
If you read the instructions on it, it says that the only reason you would set it to 150, when you set it to 150, it disengages the timer. When you set it to 150, it's basically saying, I want it to be as hot as it can be for as long as I can stand it.
Okay.
That's what you're telling the computer on the thing. So anyway.
Interesting.
Let's see here. Vicky Sarver, she gave a 1-star review back in February. She says, I have 5 fused discs, and after a bit of research, I found that this may help. So far, so good. I also go in my cold pool after the session. We'll see. So after 2 months, use this. I'm reading this as she wrote it, by the way. This is not my broken English. So after 2 months use, this sauna stopped working. Power supply has to be replaced. I contacted the company. I was told that I need to remove the power supply from the main unit and send it back, and they will send me a new one. I called today, a week later. They don't know when the power supply will come. So I have a sauna that has no power supply after 2 months use. If you value your hard-earned money, don't purchase this from this company. The next bulk pickup, I'll put this piece of junk out.
Wow.
So there you go.
Okay.
Bad power supply, bad customer service, get a bad review.
That's right.
We got one. It's like some of these go back to like 2016. We've been selling these for a while. Maybe I just got like a really good one. They got all the bugs out on these losers.
Right. It's good that you haven't experienced those.
None of them. I mean, like,
sure.
I mean, I've had it for a little over a month now.
Yeah.
And like for at least 2 weeks, I was using it every day.
Yeah.
Because here's the other. It actually helped.
Right. Obviously.
I haven't felt this good in a long time.
Good.
With my back wise.
It doesn't make you look much better, but
no, there's not a machine for that. And if there was, I probably couldn't afford it.
Right. Exactly.
So, well, anything else, man?
No, I think you've answered my questions.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode and learning about saunas. If you've got any questions, feel free to send us an email over at info@homeownershow.com. We will answer those. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe all of our media channels. And that would be great at YouTube, Facebook. Leave us a 5-star rating review on iTunes would be great as well. And until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.